This is about making the most of a bad situation. You are not expected to succeed on your first expedition, or even your 10th. Heroes will die, failures will abound, and the world will seek to smother your flame. Take heart, do not relent. Press forward through the encroaching gloom and face your fears. Redemption, at last, can be found deep within the icy depths of the darkest dungeon. Hello, internet friends. My name is Bay, and thank you for joining me on this adventure, if you will, returning to the Darkest Dungeon. But this is the Darkest Dungeon 2. We will be doing an entire multi-run, I'll get into more of that in a minute, playthrough of the Darkest Dungeon 2. Instead of streaming it, as we did back in the day. However, the tutorial campaign, or my first run, I guess you could call it, is a two-parter. I'll link it down in the video description box below. It is many hours. It is reading all of the tooltips, reading many of the abilities and trinkets, and yeah. That's hours and hours if you want to catch up or want to experience the very first time roaming through this new game. In early access, mind you. Red Hook did the same thing in the first game, and they will be doing the same thing now, I suppose, in this game, where they will iterate upon. They've already started patching things already in early access, and we'll just kind of go through it. Each episode here of this YouTube series version will essentially be one piece of an overall runs puzzle, which you'll sort of see as we go here. They should hopefully be 30-ish minutes or so. I don't know how long they will be. It will be gameplay commentary. It'll be me making stupid references or asking you guys questions and seeing how it goes. And they should come out almost daily. It depends on, stuff. But I will not be on camera during the gameplay, as you see over here, because there really isn't a place to put a camera. I've seen some other content creators place their camera, but everywhere you go, you cover something important up. And if you're watching the actual gameplay, I don't want to cover anything up. So we'll do cutaways, as I just did right there, because my face is what's important. The gameplay is what's important.
Try and try again. You will break through this gloaming murk.
Ignore this. This was just, I had to start a new run and then begin a new one here. So the way this game works, you control your coach right here. You will see this is your torch. And same sort of similarities to the first game. Definitely a lot of things that are changed and a lot of things that are still the same. But you control this wiggly wobbly back and forth torch.
The greatest horror, it would seem, is nothing at all.
Well, torch bearing stagecoach wagon. But
Indistinct and ill-lighted. No comfort awaits you here.
Thank you, Wayne June. No, there is no persistent world exactly in the Darkest Dungeon 2. And if you haven't seen this first cinematic, I think this is the only one that's available in early access right now. These are like chapters. I'm assuming they're difficulties or types of runs. Currently, all we have is this one. So enjoy if you haven't seen this one yet.
Ruin has found you at last. My protege, my friend. Our calculations were correct. The ephemeral equation is unbalanced. The Earth spins on a strange and terrifying new axis. And everywhere, unbridled consequence.
Don't demonetize me, YouTube.
The world
Please.
is a wasteland of failures past. And yet, you must ride out into it, unafraid. Take this. It is hope, the very last of it. It is yours now. You were bold once. Be bold once more. Free yourself from this suffocating stillness. Fix your gaze on the horizon. And face the fearsome truth of the darkest dungeon.
Wayne June, everyone. It's just, man. That voice now is so incredibly synonymous.
You have cowered in your crumbling denial long enough.
With the Darkest Dungeon now, so much. Like when you play Transistor or Bastion, those superly highly narrated
Who will
games.
step forward into the light?
So, every run you start is anew. We have unlocked, I'm not going to give any spoilers to the first runs. Again, they'll be linked down below. But there is one new hero, aka Walking Corpse, in the Darkest Dungeon 2 so far. There will be another unlock eventually. And every single time you start a run, you basically choose 4 more heroes here. And
Indiscriminate science stains the surgeon's hands.
you can still name them. So you don't get a crazy roster of heroes anymore. You sort of get 4 per run. A run includes sort of currently anyway, 5 sections. So in this case, 5 episodes per full run. And then you unlock things and go farther the next time. And has that persistent progression of a roguelike game, but doesn't have the same sort of overall incredible roster that you would build up in the first game. And if you've already noticed, the animations are that sort of pseudo 3D, but still Darkest Dungeon hand-drawn sort of painted style. And it is quite
Hunted,
neat.
harried, a fugitive seeking to outpace the past.
You'll see more of it as we keep playing if you're going to keep up with the series. The animations are superb.
Pride, more devastating than the horrors of 100 campaigns. A murderous melody lingers long after the final chord has been struck.
The way you unlock abilities in this game now, too, is different. The way you unlock more walking corpses, also different. You have a profile level. So we did our first run and got all the way to unlock the Jester. I think we hit level 9. I believe that was on the loading screen at the front. And then you got 12 for Leper, 15 for Occultist, and then I would assume the next one would be like 18 or 20 or something like that. You, of course, can view all the skills before you. You can only assign 5 to your character's hotbar. They can also be switched out whenever you like. They give you your details here on how they all work, where they target, what the rank your character would like to sit in. We sort of already decided that this would be our next group going on here. I'll have some persistent names, of course, and some new ones until they die in this series, and then they will be replaced with someone else. So let's see. We're going to go with Gohrek the Younger. Oh, I can't type it. So Gohrek the Second. Soft spoiler, I suppose, for what happened in the first run. This is going to be Miapow. Almost typed poo there. You didn't see anything. For our Jester here, we're going to go with Nath. And for our Plague Doctor, it's going to be Teddy again. The resiliency of your characters in this version of the game is quite different compared to before. And we will hopefully see that in this playthrough as we keep going more and more. And I'm going to be learning stuff along the way. I put over 200, just over 200 hours into the first game, into Darkest Dungeon 1, all on stream over the course of a very long while. I don't know if I want to run Bellow or not. I'm sort of thinking out loud here. I did one campaign during their early access period, and then I did another full campaign when all of the game was released. My original campaign was roughly 70 or so hours, and then my full campaign with all the DLC, which was somewhat excruciating due to the Blood Court and the Color of Madness DLC and all that stuff, was like 130-ish. So to add it to the 200 hours or so. But you earn your skills here by progressing these characters' stories in the runs that you take them on. So at minimum, you need to progress the story 6 times. So 6 runs per person. You can only progress so much story per overall run of your campaign, because there's only so many times you can progress that character each section, each layer of the game. God, the animations and models are so good. So incredibly good. Still have perks and negative quirks. Those are still definitely there. You can earn more. But let's get off this screen and start going on this first run. Or the first region, I should say. The valley. Welcome. Welcome, welcome.
The flame, sacred and sputtering. The last hope for us all.
So again, you are controlling the stagecoach here. Ooh, right into an academic's cache. What do we have?
Abandoned or forgotten. It is ours now.
The first starting cache. I think it's just a random assortment of items when you leave. Speed trinket's good. Crit trinket's okay. So everything is broken up. There are 4 categories now. There's still trinkets, as you may expect. There are inn items. Essentially, every run ends with going to an inn, where you use inn items to remove your stress. That's still a thing. Where you buff your party. Definitely still a thing. Where you can spend your relics or baubles. I didn't get any baubles in this first haul. And then there are, of course, combat items. Combat items are free actions your characters can take. And as I said before in the intro, it's tough to put a camera somewhere because literally the entire screen gets covered up with information. I could put a tiny camera here or squish myself down in the bottom corner, but I'd rather not. We'll just do, we'll have moments like this when someone does something really stupid in this campaign and, misses 100% hit. XCOM style in Darkest Dungeon, stuff like that. So we'll see. We will definitely see what happens. But that's sort of what I thought with doing this. You'll also notice the affinity system on the side here. Your characters have negative and positive relations with the other characters in these runs. You do want positive ones. They are very good. Negative ones, as you might expect, are very bad. So, all right, we're going to put some additional crit. Actually, see, this is the one thing about the Highwayman, now that I'm thinking about it. If I take aim often, which is sort of the combo you do with the Highwayman, he doesn't gain any benefit from more crit. Whoops, sorry. So, I think we'll just put this extra crit on our Jester. We'll go with some speed on our Plague Doctor. Plague Doctor does have some healing capabilities, but only can use 3 healing concoctions, or whatever they're called, the battlefield medicines, 3 per engagement, and only if a character is under half health. There are a lot more strict rules on some of these healing abilities, so you don't just literally spam them. We'll go with a it's a combat item where you buff fire resist. We'll see. Combat items can be used once per turn per character for free. They're a free action. And we'll grab the stims over here, and then these are all in items and stuff. You can, of course, sort these. There's little tabs in the corner here. But we'll just play, and we'll see what happens. We can see our route through the first level. Not very far, as this first episode's a bit of a intro to all of this madness. And then, of course, we will have...
Your insightful questions during my lectures gave me pause, and I recognized in you something of a kindred spirit.
Yeah. The Desperate Few. These are assistance encounters where you get to choose different outcomes based on your party you have created. And you will see around the characters, the yellow is a good reaction. In some cases, you will see the dark bluish, the dark outline, that's a bad reaction. And that's you just trying to make your party's affinity match up. If you can. You really can't always do that. And you will also have issues with the route you would take through the game. Think sort of that FTL style, or the other dungeon crawling games. I can't think of any other options. I guess Rogue Legacy, kinda, but Rogue Legacy is still like a side-scrolling game. So, but there are those deck builders where you sort of choose your routes through them. I mean, actually, there's one on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it right now, but I've played it. I don't know, but the comments will let me know. I have forgotten it. I'm scrolling through my Steam library right now. I got nothing. But I guess that brings me to the question. Have you played a bunch of Darkest Dungeon by chance? Or does this type of game not interest you? So we can do Let All the Kind Folk Unite Under the Banner of Our Light. It's on us to carry the torch, and it's a long road. Each of us plays our part. Harmony, not solos. And hope is contagious once it catches. So everything here is pretty much positive. I think the way to go positive across the board here is to choose Teddy. Because when you choose Teddy, everyone else glows yellow. It's a good one. You can see the rewards you get in the bottom. Pretty easy one right off the bat. You can, of course, hold Alt to see what the actual rewards are in a text-based way. And you can go back and see our torch here. Pretty low. The darker it gets, the stronger kind of your characters get, but the chance of affinity changes is bad. And then enemies also get stronger in the dark. But we'll gain some torch here, and we'll go with Teddy's answer. Very good.
Scavenge what you can, and be off once more.
So this is how you will regain your torch throughout your journey, or use it as a resource to gain rewards from these encounters. Get some crappy food. You can make better food via your stagecoach and the inns. This is the worst food, the basic food in the game. It's just mold on a plate, basically. Got some flame for our torch, and we'll be off. And there is a lot of also talking that you'll notice. The talking heads down here will sometimes pop up with reactions. So, yeah. So Teddy's, yeah, see. I mean, you kind of can judge. It's not told to you explicitly, but we just did Teddy's choice, right? So then Teddy gained a bunch of, he got almost all the way friendly with Mia. Gohrek, neutral, but 2 trending towards, and then same thing with Nath. But everyone else, of course, has nothing. You kind of have to learn each run what your characters are going to prefer. You know, it's like that. It's the Paragon Renegade discussion from, you know, Mass Effect games. Certain characters liked it when you were more Renegade.
You can feel it. A change in the air.
Certain characters liked being more Paragon.
Each gravestone is more than a failure. It is a promise to do better.
This is our first, and I do believe only encounter on the starting road here.
Is not immune to the spreading stain.
So you'll see the initiative order in the top right. The next character to go is the farthest one over with the little tick mark underneath it, underneath my face. The rounds we have here, some of these battles are actually round limited. You only have so much time to do them. Also, if they're not, you start getting penalized and get negative modifiers on your squad after round 7, or at and then after round 7. So initiative order is kind of like a dice roll off D&D style, essentially, where your initiative of your character, which you can sort of see up here, your base speed, is rolled off and then added to it, and then that's when your initiative rolls off here. So the reason why I gave my speed token here to the Plague Doctor is hopefully them to be at the start of turn orders in case they need to heal or dispel someone. Little things like that go a long way in this game. You can hold Alt to go in and look at your character that's currently in formation there, or any others, to see all their resistances or if they have any buffs on them to get more information. But otherwise, let's see here. The Widow is going to be the problem. They're going to do stress damage, most likely. They're like a caster support character. So we might just go with... I can't really hit them very well, and a lot of the abilities the Jester has currently are movement-based. So I think we'll go with a forward, because these three in the front here are all going to have movement where they can go back and forward. We're going to try to leave our Plague Doctor, Teddy, in the back here, because they can't do certain actions if they're up forward. Oh, nice. The tree actually just obscures. That's it's a giant black screen, basically. All right, so Razor's Wit. So we're going to forward 1. We're getting a dodge token. Oh, just watch the animations. Just watch. It's so pretty. I mean, it's horrifying in that dark, gothic, gory, Darkest Dungeon kind of way, but it's also really pretty. We're gonna go with, we'll just buff here. I don't know if these guys can make us bleed at all, but I also might get that stress away. Oh, I won't give the stress away until I upgrade the ability. Ooh, Mia with the first kill.
We can rely only upon each other.
Horror debuff.
Cooperation is the key.
From killing the... Really? That sucks. So the stress is still in the game, of course. It's now just a 1 through 10, I guess 0 through 10 system. Whenever you fill your stress bar up, if you can help it or not, your character goes into a meltdown mode. They will lose a ton of health, reset their stress. They will then really hurt their affinities. So they're going to hurt their relationships quite a bit. So if you have friendly ones or maxed out good relationships, they could lose the entire progress you've had. And then they'll trend maybe towards negative relationships, which is, as I said earlier, not good to have. But I think we're just gonna... We have to 2 stress here. It shouldn't be too big of a deal. We're just gonna go with a big bonk. Nicely done. All right, everyone's attacking Mia. More stress already. Oh, wonderful. There it is. 30% stress in the first encounter in 2 rounds. Great. Death blow for Teddy.
Continues.
Yep, at a horror. Yep. I think we're gonna try to... I wonder if I can get rid of at least some of that stress. So we'll take aim for next turn. You'll also notice the token system underneath is a bit much so far. It is what we had in the first game, albeit simplified and streamlined in a more flat way. These are all the tokens that are currently in the game as I bring up the token menu. These all have their either unique, special, stealth, debuffs, or buffs. Now, they all have corresponding bonuses. So, like Dodge Plus is a 75% chance to dodge the next attack. Block is taking reduced damage from the next attack. Riposte is counterattacking, guaranteed crits. Stuff of that nature. A lot of them are pretty self-explanatory once you have gone through them all. I still don't know what, like, all of these down here do exactly. And Fodder says it gets eaten by other mobs, right? Corpulent empowers or enables a powerful skill, but I still haven't figured out what Worship does. Order makes you prepare a powerful skill. So there's a couple of them that I haven't seen yet. So I haven't seen their applications or how well they can be utilized. But for the most part, they're usually a one-time thing, or if they're stacked, they'll have a little pip underneath denoting that there is 2 stacks. So Battle Ballad is just forward plus damage. Yeah, so I cannot use... Target stress has to be above 50% to use Inspiring Tune. Okay. So it has to go up 1 more next turn to do so. So it was a little bit of fiddling with how long you want to be in combat, I suppose. But I don't think we're going to go with that. I think we'll just sort of Battle Ballad and double buff. It pushes that character forward. Now they have bonus damage and guaranteed crit on the next attack. All of these abilities do not have any... We'll put a defend on just in case this get bonked. There is a level up system, which I'll get into, where you level up your abilities each time you do a run. This might actually down stress if it one-shots him. And it did. There we go. Friendship earned. But sometimes it hurts you. Bleed resist, not too bad. And some relics. So these right here, mastery points. Mastery points are how you upgrade your abilities. There's no more armor anymore. There's no more gear for your characters exactly.
Are you shaken? There is so much worse in store.
We're going to put the bleed trinket over here on Gohrek. For now, we don't really have any other options. It's unfortunate that he's a blundering fool. He's so slow. He can't do any defensive maneuvers at the start, but hard noggin. Not getting stunned very often. And here is where your first little section of the valley ends. Welcome to the first inn. And every time the camera pans up, ominously showing you the mountain in the distance.
Rest now for a time.
So we'll go over sort of the rest of the systems in this one, just so in future installments, I won't need to, hopefully. But this gives you a breakdown of what you have done. So the party has reached the torch and crown. They will be healed to 100%. And it shows that, like, everyone got a little more friendly over the course of the battle. This is the loathing system. On top of your torch and the darkness level of your run, you also have the loathing, which the deeper you go or the closer to the mountain you get, the loathing grows. 1 stack does nothing. 0 stacks also does nothing. 2 stacks is right before it starts affecting you. And then 3, 4, and don't get to 5 will all increase the difficulty of the run you are currently on. You can reduce the loathing by engaging in actual battles, not road battles, which are random, but actual battles with certain enemies, which will remove this. So, but when it's at 3, 4, or 5, and you have to reduce the loathing, that encounter will be difficult to do. But normally it reduces it by 2, so you can sort of knock it out and reduce it completely for the whole run you are on. Welcome to the inn, where we get to engage with our inn items, which we don't really have very many of. Let's see if we can use playing cards. I'm going to go with our 2 essential DPS characters here. So this item is a party buff, actually. This one is a 2-person buff, never mind. So high chance to improve Infinity, low chance to harm it. Hopefully we don't harm anyone's relationship with these playing cards, everybody. Well, that was not what I was hoping for. And you can go check your relationship status. So that was okay. Okay, that was not okay. Gohrek and Teddy and Nath didn't like playing cards together. And Teddy lost everything with Nath and almost everything with Gohrek, but gained something with Mia. And Nath again and Gohrek are neutral to trending downwards. All right, great. Great start, guys. Good good job. Yeah, good job. We'll do boxing gloves on these 2 here, on Nath and Mia in the middle. The boxing gloves have a chance to proc every time they start a new round to give them a one action damage buff.
Learn what can be taught, that you may stand just a little taller at the end.
So here's our mastery trainers, where we learn and upgrade our abilities. And again, this is every single time you start over, you earn mastery buffs, and then you relearn things, and you create different builds, synergies, etc. Again, you can always upgrade every single ability, but it can only have 5 currently engaged. Everything can only be mastery upgraded 1 time. It is possible to go Inspiring Tune because it upgrades to -3 stress and removes horror completely. Going with Battlefield Medicine really early is probably good. Also, Ounce of Prevention, really good. So it's a -1. This is an AoE buff. -1 stress, and then plus all the resistances, both disease and then fire, poison, and bleed, respectively, down there. I guess technically it's bleed, poison, and fire, depending on how you read that, left to right or right to left. But buffing your heal first could be good. I think I buffed my heal a little bit too late last time. Or you could go full on damage. Take aim being buffed is pretty crazy. And then, of course, point blank shot once you do the sort of combo with the man-at-arms, right? Man-at-arms. with the highwayman. This is the man-at-arms. The highwayman is you would be able to duelist advance forward, take aim, and then point blank shot. It does take 3 turns. 1 turn you kind of just stand there and do no damage. You do some damage, go forward, get your riposte up, which gives you the counter attack token. Then you can take aim in the front, but then you'll have dodge tokens, so you hopefully won't get battered and bruised in the front line. And then you just point blank shot, which does crazy damage. But I think we'll go with the Ounce of Prevention. Teddy is going to probably cast this at least once every battle. It is very helpful. And then you might get the Battlefield Medicine next round to stay ahead of the game scaling against us. Hold down, and there you go. Alrighty. So we actually also
The
can...
next stop is leagues away.
Yes.
Plan accordingly.
You can rename your stagecoach if you'd like, and you can upgrade it. So this increases food stacks.
Any advantage is a good thing.
If you notice too, it does appear most of these.
Experimentation. Your academic instincts serve you well.
Most of these do go on the actual stagecoach there, so you get like other things on the sides and the tops and the horses and things. This is where you choose your next route. Not every route is in the early access version, so we can't go to the sluice, for example.
On
Oh, we
map.
can't.
Unexplored.
Oh.
A risky proposition.
I didn't think this was in because it didn't actually give us any... I don't know if we want to go to the sluice. It's just relic rewards. Looks like a bleed-oriented zone. These both zones give you a secondary goal of giving you additional bonuses. So this one would be avoid watchtowers. You get an extra mastery point. This one would be avoid the hospital. Gives you an extra mastery point. I don't know. Let's go stay on the sluice. We could change it if we wanted to.
Another nameless city.
No.
Another inferno of mutilation and madness.
We're going to the sluice. I thought it wasn't. I really actually thought it wasn't there. We're pretty much all good. We don't have to eat any of this bad food because everyone's full health. We couldn't really do anything more for your stress, unfortunately, Mia. But round start. 5% chance to gain the bonus damage. And again, these tokens are all flat. There isn't a granularity to them. They're all just strength equals this. You know, guarded, speed, etc. There isn't, besides having 1 or 2 of them, there isn't different versions of them. Or isn't as many compared to the first game. But that's everything. I think we are good to go. We'll check the provisioner real quick.
But fairly priced.
Could buy a whiskey bottle to reduce the stress. We are going into a potentially bleed heavy place. Ooh, stale bread restores HP. Could buy some for the next run. Clearing all corpses with a pouch of lie is pretty good. Could take an Ichor bomb for a boss encounter. It's a big blight hit, or poison hit rather. We might do that. We could also nothing no, unfortunately, no items for bleed resistance. So we'll buy an Ichor Bomb and maybe a Smoke Bomb. And then we'll buy some apples. And this is actually, they have 2 stacks of it available. I might buy one more Smoke Bomb, actually.
A regrettably necessary acquisition.
So we have an item there. We'll put these Smoke Bombs on Gohrek the second. Ichor Bomb back here, because we already have the ablative powders on Nath. And I think we're all set. I think that's going to do it. That's going to be it for episode 1. Thank you for coming on this journey, sort of the tutorial of this. We won't be talking about all these laying ground, rules and systems in future episodes. But thank you very much for being here. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you already haven't already. I said that right, I think. Again, my name has been Bay. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you in next episode tomorrow.